we I don't know if you know it, Sylvia and Kayla. Did you hear about the Baldwin case?
We did.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the way a judge's supposed to operate.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I, in my wildest dream, I could never dream of a prosecutor representing herself on the stand. This is sovereign citizen level, interviewing herself on the stand, admitting to Brady violations. I mean,
well, and Spiro didn't even want to question her. It was purely voluntary for her to go and take the stand.
Yeah, I mean, some part of me thinks that it's him. Save yourself for the bar review. Don't go up there. We have enough. Do not go up there and incriminate yourself. And if you do, wait for your lawyer. And up she goes. And I don't know why, because she's obviously a good lawyer.
They threw it out.
Yeah, it was one, but yeah, dismissed with prejudice, and probably
can't bring it back.
And it just started Monday.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unfair.
Yeah, that was jury selection. Like it was really 3 days of trial, right?
Yeah.
That's so unfair. We have been spending almost over a year, half a year with this damn trial, where this kind of situation is brought up on a monthly basis about Brady violations and discovery violations and everything. And he gets it in less than a week.
Well, this is the second major case that I know of this week dismissed because of prosecutors messing up. The Courtney Clenny and parents' laptop case was just dismissed because they violated attorney-client privilege. They were just reading through the defense's messages.
Yeah. And I know that is why Steve Gosney probably...
The whole case was dismissed, Kat?
No, not the homicide case. It was a separate action where she was the co-defendant with her parents.
Yeah, the parents. Yeah.
But that put the other trial on hold for 6 months. Like, she's in custody. I don't think she'll be able to prove her self-defense argument. I am not thinking she's going to win the homicide case. But you have this laptop case come up out of nowhere, and it delays everything for 6 months just to get dismissed because the prosecutors seemingly instructed their taint team to not do what they're supposed to do and filter out attorney-client privilege information.
Yeah, and that can have effect on the homicide trial as well. Because if you're prepared,
they are moving to dismiss the state prosecutor from the homicide case and send it to a different office.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it should, because if you're prepared to lie that much about that little, what are you prepared to do on the big stuff?
To get a conviction. Yeah. The prosecution is horrible, man.
Yeah, but that's also, I think, why the Miami-Dade hired Steve Gosney to train their prosecutors in ethics. And if you don't know who Steve Gosney is, he is one of a very few death penalty certificate appellate lawyers who has now left the public defender's office to train the prosecutors in ethics. And in Miami-Dade.
We also had little Boosie who had his case dismissed too.
Yeah.
That was today, right? That's why you did that this morning, right?
Yes.
Tell us all the tea.
Oh, yeah, tell us.
But I wasn't there. I had a person that was boots on the ground there for me, and but the whole thing is there was a case law that just got decided, and Boosie went underneath that case law, and they dismissed his case.
Okay. Yeah, as it should.
He's been dealing with this for a whole year. It was last year in May. If the state originally had it, the state threw it out. Then the feds came and picked them up.
I just discovered I forgot my nicotine pouches. So you talk amongst yourselves. Don't get me yeeted.
I think it's crazy though, thinking about the Baldwin trial and how it was 3 days. I mean,
That's crazy.
And she
even
said
if nothing went wrong, imagine the calendar control.
yeah. Oh, she was not playing with them.
I think I could have heard it wrong, but I swear at the end, she had said, all right, 15 minutes from each side, is that enough? And then I don't remember either side making arguments against the motion to dismiss. And then she just gave her decision that she was dismissing with prejudice. Like, it's like she was just like, all right, I already know, let's just get to it.
She was not playing with them at all. She was like, we're not wasting my time.
Did you guys catch the last line of questioning for the Alec Baldwin trial?
The who?
Oh,
I'm not going to say the certain words, but really the last thing on the record, because Carrie Morrissey, Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrissey, thought it was a great idea, a Hail Mary, to try to get up on the witness stand and save her case. Alex Spiro, the last thing he asks her about is, and you don't really like him, right? She's like, oh, I like his movies, I'm fond of him, I like his stuff. Well, didn't you call him a COCK sucker? And she's like, I don't remember that. And you got to watch a prosecutor try to wiggle worm out of possibly getting caught in a trap. And that's the last thing on the record, the last line of questioning before her case, before she took an L. So,
yeah. And I don't understand why, because when she saw the writing on the wall, all she had to do was go out in the hallway, offer the best deal possible, and if turned down, walking back into court with this review, we move for a dismissal with prejudice and not incriminate yourself.
yeah, I didn't think that was wise. And then if anyone tuning in was familiar, they heard Alec Baldwin but didn't tune in today. I mean, this all went 0 to 60 today, clearly. But when Carrie Morrissey got on the stand, we ended up finding out that her whole prosecution team was abandoning ship. Even Erlinda Johnson, who's the one that everyone says looks like the judge, Judge Summer, she quit today. She said, I'm out of this case. I want no part.
Yeah. I mean, is there anyone left?
We're not staying. She has to go upstairs and come back down.
Okay.
Okay.
Did they get stopped by a cop?
No, we didn't get stopped by.
I think I need food. Nick, where'd you go?
We are inside the Why your phone not charging? Why her phone not charging? I locked it. I locked it. Oh.
No, YSL is not. We're talking about the Alec Baldwin case.
I don't know why it's not unlocking. Hold on. I don't know why it's not unlocking.
Are you going on a girls' road trip?
Somebody put the kid lock on it. Okay, go ahead.
They're going on all girls. Are you going, Sylvia? Are you going on a road trip?
Sorry.
You gotta go on mute.
Sorry.
I'll be right
An all girls
Okay.
road trip, and I so want to be there.
Weren't you? You were just doing your sob stream, right?
Huh?
Oh, to Nick. Weren't you just streaming? I don't know if you were actually driving or if you were just in the car. Weren't
I
you
was
streaming
just-
from the sub?
Yeah, I was in my car having a cigar, and just because at a few points I can't go inside because I need the calmness of a cigar, because I use cigars as almost as meditation, because you cannot smoke a cigar while stressed. It's impossible. It gets so nasty. So while I'm lighting it up and talking, I feel my heart rate go down, blood pressure go down, and all of a sudden, okay, now I'm good. So I thought I would do that while talking to my viewers. And that's because I do not smoke indoors. Yeah. You freaking fly! I would smite thee in the name of.
Oh, you killing a fly.
Yeah. This is the downside of being on a farm. There are flies freaking everywhere.
Wow.
Because everything around me is farmland. or horses, or cows, some pigs, and apparently a gazillion flies.
I get lizards in my house sometimes. Sometimes I find them like they're already like they're under something, and I like pull it out to like sweep, and it's just like dry and dead, and it's gross. But I guess that's Florida.
Yeah, over here.
Don't knock down the liquor cabinet.
Jesus Christ, there's a lot of them. Maybe I should take a shower. I don't know. Now let's get back to the YSL trial. Well, Monday started off interesting. If I remember correctly, it was... Oh God, now I'm distracted by these. I'm going to curse out loud soon.
Wait, don't get demonetized.
Yeah. Kat, you are currently not distracted.
No, she went up to go get her stuff. The guy told us to park right here until
Yeah, it's only 15 minutes. I don't know.
I haven't been here.
It's so funny that if someone joins and didn't see Kayla yet, they'll just see Sylvia, but with Kayla's name.
But Kat,
I do see YNW Melly in. Someone just mentioned the YNW Melly trial. That is extended out for another year.
Yep.
That is going to be not fun. He's basically, it sounds like solitary. They said his cell doesn't have a door. He doesn't have any interactions, and barely even with the staff.
Yeah, which is why, since it was a hung jury, that in itself should give him at least a bond hearing. But no. Maybe if I have a beer, I will stop caring about the flies.
I also think we just keep seeing that with so many trials. Obviously, with YSL, they've been sitting in custody. We have that becoming an issue with Courtney Clenny. She's supposed to request another Arthur hearing. In Florida, that's essentially a bond hearing when you're facing a life charge. And it's just like, how long do these trials take?
Yeah, I mean, and not only the lead up to the trial, then the trial itself. And I'm under the conviction that the longer the trial, the worse the case. You don't need a long trial if you have good evidence. And going over to the double homicide a few weeks ago, 3 days. And then a few weeks later, sentencing. Yeah, the share or the needle or whatever. Because it was such a good case that the defense, they didn't have anything. That's the guy with the Indian sun thing on his face.
Oh yeah, was that Florida too?
Wasn't it? Or was it Texas?
You know, honestly, sometimes when I have a lean, I just assume that things are Florida because we're home of the crazy stories.
Yeah, but then again, you have this amazing Public Information Act in Florida.
Oh yeah, it's super quick to get information, and honestly, they rarely charge for it. But to request 4 days that weren't even complete trial days, they were short days from a New York court, and waiting. I didn't ask for like overnight response. It cost $2,600 to get 4 days of testimony in the Jonathan Majors trial.
Oh,
$2,600.
Wow, that's
That stuff
more than
costs a
I'm
lot.
making. Yeah, that's what I make in 3 months on this channel.
Well, luckily people helped crowdsource, so
yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna eat this because I want to know. But then people were like, here you go, we'll help. It was so nice.
Yeah.
But that's the way it was when I was doing the R. Kelly case. It was thousands.
Because that was Manhattan, right?
Manhattan and Chicago.
So Chicago's bad with that too.
Oh my God, it was a lot of money, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and who was it? Laura something who did it with the Depp v. Heard trial. She got the transcript and paid for it, and then people started donating. But she did it without. I mean, she just pitched out the money, and that was expensive. Hey, look there! Cat got a super chat.
Oh, is that for me?
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta like pull up my own channel. Thank you, Jerome Street, for the 1999 super chat. We are sync streaming. I don't know what the proper term for it is, so I don't really know how to tell the difference on here.
Dual streaming or something, and I mean, Kayla is on here, and I do not on my channel. I do not have that restriction that you can't broadcast to your own channel if you're a guest here. So if Kayla wants to broadcast to her, she can. Andrea Burkhardt, thank you, Jackson. Thank you.
Well, she need to come on. These people having a fit already. Kayla need to hurry up. We're at a hotel trying to and I have her phone.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not getting her calls.
I'm not answering it, but she needs to come on because these people gonna have a fit.
Oh, really? King Cooley said case was in Florida. Thank you. And now soon possible Rico in the Folio case. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that was in Florida, and that was a decently. I don't want to say it was a short trial, but considering that every other time we have something that involves someone that's kind of known, it seems to drag out. I feel like that was proportionately faster than what we're seeing now. But it was pretty clear cut, and they had one of the witnesses came in and kind of told on the rest of the other three. So
now, we were supposed to, as per usual, we are here for the YSL, the Young Thug trial, but we are open to any form of discussion. What's my age? I'm over 50, let's just say that. And the reason why I don't disclose my actual age and my actual birthdays, Sweden is a bureaucracy. It's a social democratic bureaucracy. So my social security number is connected to where I'm born and when I'm born. Yeah, that makes it really, really easy to nick identities, and I don't that. Hence, I will not reveal it. But I'm over 50, and I'm a Taurus. If you go by.
I'm an Aries, but I don't think that I don't know. I don't read too much into that.
No. Since it's all made up, I always say, "Oh, what's your star sign?" I say Batman, because if you have the choice, always choose Batman.
Can you imagine if they start arguing for,
Stay away,
I'm innocent
Kayla.
because of my zodiac sign.
Thank you, Brandon. Every 5 minutes, Kayla is late. I give Nick $5. Stay away.
Oh, I didn't realize Brandon has a Florida man can in his picture.
Oh, does he? Yeah, he does. I didn't realize that. Thank you, Brandon. Oh, come on, Ohio. Don't be rude. Be rude to me, but don't be rude to my kids. Let's see. A paradox. That former couple got tried in Gwinnett County. What he did to that young lady. That trial went pretty quick. I don't know about that one. I mean, I'm trying to cover so many cases and trials. You have that the woman who was incarcerated for 43 years, who is now, it's in Missouri. She is on her way out because the appeals courts said there's clear and convincing evidence that she is actually innocent. And the Attorney General opposes. Now he wants her to start serving a 10-year sentence she got in the early 90s because she was in a fight with a prison guard. So instead of having that in the time served, no, he wants her to start serving that time now. And I mean, how petty can you be? And she already spent 43 years as an innocent person for a murder she didn't commit. Coincidentally, the probable culprit.
There's been like a few stories that I keep getting wind of just involve cops. Whether it's a cover up or the cop is the one that actually committed the act that's being charged on someone else. And it's just like, how are we just hearing about it more because we're on YouTube, we're looking at X and we're talking about it? Or like, what is the reason that it's finally coming to light, maybe is the way to put it?
Yeah, I mean, it might be finally coming to light. And person, is there a list of long-lasting trials? Yes, there are such lists. And for instance, the O.J. Simpson trial lasted for almost a year, if I remember correctly. But the longest trial in U.S. history lasted 7 years.
Was it like an estate case or something?
No, it was a criminal case. But it
Oh.
had a 3-year pause in the middle for something. I think it was in the 1920s or something. So I'm not entirely, but I just checked a few weeks ago. I just looked it up because I thought to myself, oh, we got to be up there. But the YSL case, the trial, yeah, if you count in the jury selection, which you should because it's technically when the trial starts, then it is a longer trial than the O.J. Simpson trial.
What was the average lifespan in the 1920s? It's like well under 60, right? Imagine spending like 7 years of your life as a juror when you only expected to live to like 50 years old.
9.
Oh, and Eve's got one too about the Sandra Birchmore.
Go out to the left.
Sandra Birch. Yeah, the...
Because that's Canton, right? Or is that Boston PD?
She lived in Canton, but the culprits were cops from the neighboring county. But she lived in Canton when she got offed. But that is reopened. It's not reopened, but there's a civil case now. And it seems like whoever that cop, because she was in this police youth program when she was 13. And this guy started grooming her there. And allegedly they had the intercourse when he was 27 and she was 15. And he started grooming her at 13 and he was 24. I mean, and it must have been obvious and nobody did anything about it. And that youth program has been going on for decades. How many victims are there? I mean,
oh, that's gross. Like, what an ironic program for that to happen in at all, period. But like,
come on, Jesus Christ. Am I supposed to drink for this? Oh, yeah, they are referring to, thank you, Brandon, on Fridays once in a while, I do my Wheel of Regrets, where I grift for super chats while I have... Sorry. While I have this up. Hold on while I get it up. Phrasing.
Yeah.
While I have this up, I usually have it at $50-$60 and I do a spin on the wheel.
A spoon of mayonnaise?
Yeah. Where they make me suffer for money. Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have said it. Is it going to go to Vodka Shot? It's right on the line. Oh, I'm sorry. I jinxed you. I'm sorry.
No, but we're not near the money needed for me to actually do what it says over there. But I mean, I have my hot sauces.
All right, so we've got questions about the Baldwin case again. So with the Baldwin case, you guys, it is done. It cannot be retried. Dismissed with prejudice. It was a huge L for Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrissey, who, by the way, like, special prosecutor means she's an attorney in private practice. She doesn't actually work. She's not hired by the prosecutor's office.
Like Nathan Wade.
Yeah, perfect. Put it into terms we can relate to. We remember.
Special prosecutor, private practice, but I don't believe Morrissey had to boink to get there.
True. She just had to win one case where the first defense attorney for the other person being held to account for the death of Helena Hutchins. She went up against a pretty backboneless defense attorney, Jason Bowles.
Yeah. But this time with this level of lawyers, I mean, there's a difference between lawyers and lawyers. There's no arguing about it. And Alec Baldwin can afford to hire the top notch. But then again, they wouldn't have a good defense unless the prosecution and the investigators forked up that royally. I mean, it's and I see. I mean, you see much of the same things in the YSL case, specifically Detective Velasquez on the stand admitting that when he takes down witness statements, he erases the ones he doesn't like and keeps the ones. So they tell him something. I don't believe you. Tell me something else. I don't believe you. Tell me something else. That's more according to my current theory. I would say that one. And it under oath.
And it's layers and layers of that too. And if we don't find what we want from someone saying it, we'll go and find a keyword and do a Twitter search to see if we can find anything from anyone, anywhere, ever that could be related to not even anyone in YSL, but Rock Crew and.
Yeah. Kayla, you're muted, by the way. You're muted yourself. No, the other button. Now you're off screen. You're new at this, and you're in the car. And I'm trying to. I haven't muted you. And that's also the wrong button.
We're almost there.
We're almost.
We're gonna run out of options, and it'll just work eventually.
Yeah, and apparently Detective Velasquez. Oh. Yep.
It actually was not user error. It's the phone. It was something wrong with the phone.
Now, Kayla, you have been a lawyer for a good number of years. Detective Velasquez. Do you remember him from the trial? He was early on, I mean, month 2, I think, in January, February, who on the stand, under oath, said he erased witness statements until he got the statement he wanted. Apparently, he and the other detective, whose name I don't care about, they are having a true crime show where they solve cold cases. I won't mention its name because I don't want people to go there.
Yeah.
Don't be rude to him, even though he's a bad cop or a former bad cop. But how can you? I don't understand. He admitted to it on the stand under oath. Nothing ever happens to cops. Nothing. And it's infuriating because how are we supposed to skim out the bad cops and keep the good cops if the good cops protects the bad cops?
It's so sad because I see this a lot. Like, it's crazy because it's hard to know when my client is telling the truth or if my client is lying about what a police officer did to them. You know, at the beginning of practice, I used to just be like, that couldn't have happened. You know, like, just so young and naive and just thinking police don't do things like that. But the more and more I practice, the more I be like, maybe I need to subpoena that body cam, or maybe I need to check to see, because
Yeah.
there's so many times where they are telling the truth.
Yeah. But then again, sometimes you have people like Woody, and I know the more I learn about him, the more I like the guy. Now I know about his past and everything, but then again, I've represented bikers over here. I'm not. It's not a common thing that bikers get in trouble on their workplace after they serve a sentence, but most of these are deep down good people who just went into life sideways, and some people it works out for.
Yeah.
And I believe that Woody is one of these people who we all know the things he's done or didn't do or anything, but he seems to be able to straighten his life out. King Cooley, can lawyers lie in court? No. Well,
You know how it goes. They can, but they're not supposed to. They're not allowed to. They have a duty to the court.
yeah, there's a duty to the court. But if you are a fantasy reader and the Robert Jordan books and the I Said Die promise, you cannot tell a lie. You can phrase things in different way, so it sounds like you are answering a question without revealing something. So yeah.
Well, Morrissey did that when she took the stand today. She was like, well, I can't say right now if I have may or may not have said that, but if you can show it to me, then maybe we can see. That's a very... Because she's also a defense attorney too, but she's acting as a special prosecutor in this instance. She knew she was stupid for getting up there. But once she pulled that plug out, she knew she didn't want to commit to saying no to something that she could be confronted with.
It was so
It's almost
bad.
like self-incrimination. Like she was
like... Yeah. How can you go up on the stand and admit, without being questioned, to Brady violations? I mean, she always had the option to stand up with the recent development. We have reviewed the case and we agree with the motion to dismiss with prejudice, and then taking her chances with the bar association, because nobody cares what happens in the bar association. Nobody will watch that or read about it. You might read, oh, she got a bar complaint. She might even get a fine. We don't know. But now the world knows. I mean, there were, I think at the peak I saw there were close to 100,000 over at ED. I mean,
well, as soon as the jury got sent home, the internet was like, oh, what's going on? So even if you weren't tuning in today, you thought it would just be another slow day, you'd catch up later. Everybody was starting to tune in.
Yeah. We should take an oath every time they enter a courtroom. I mean, the rules of conduct always applies on a lawyer, an officer of the court. That's ongoing all the time.
Ironically, guys, we're at the state bar right now at Georgia Parking. You know, lawyers get to park for free at the bar.
Good to know. That doesn't help me, but I'm going to pass on that tip to someone in Georgia one day. I'm going to be like, you could park there for free because you have bar card.
If you're a member of our bar.
So it has to be Georgia State.
Yeah.
Are you muted, Nick? Is it me?
No, I can't hear him either. I can hear you though.
We lost Nick.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Does it work?
There you go. I hear you.
Okay.
Well, now I know it's not only me who loses Wi-Fi.
No, apparently my sound is cracking up according to the chat, so I did a plug out, plug in thing. So, Brandon, we are at $20. So if you want me to spin the wheel, it's another $30 in super chats, gift and memberships, or through my PayPal. Cat is loud but breaking up.
Oh, am I? Hold on. Can you hear me talking okay, or am I breaking up?
I think we can hear us perfectly, but it's the out from StreamYard. It might be an issue.
Maybe we're gonna blame StreamYard.
Yeah.
And yeah, as far as Kraus responding, I think she was quick with her other responses, but she did have a 2-day backlog because she had to extend the time for love. So
Yeah.
maybe she initially would have responded today if that was turned in on Monday. You know, now we're looking Tuesday.
Do you guys think that Hey! Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. Well, you know, I'm parking at the state bar, so of course I'm a
You're gonna run into everyone.
But so wait, can you say that again? So I had something good to say too.
What was I saying? Oh, Rachel Kraus waiting because of the delay for the
That's
response
what
from
I
the
was
state.
gonna say. I was wondering, me and Miss Sylvia were talking about this earlier, if maybe she was considering doing oral arguments on the matter, because I think that there is a lot of come on, y'all. I think there is a lot of stuff that's not explained or possibly missing.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I don't
surprised
know.
we didn't
Maybe
see a docket, like a date for that, a scheduling for that.
yeah, but maybe she's just weighing her options.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just thinking because I just think that Attorney Steele's motion, I would want to argue that. I wouldn't, I mean, he wrote it very well, but I just think an argument would solidify.
Okay, that's Mike disappeared. There she is again.
I agree. And I mean, I'd love to see it too.
Yeah, because we have not seen the best of Brian Steele. Because Brian Steele has been frustrated for 6 months now. We haven't seen the best of him. He tries to argue against Judge Glanville and gets interrupted all the time. I want to hear him in front of another judge. Because we know he's good at this. He's won so many appeals. We know he's good at it. And I want to hear it.
Right. I want to too. And I also want to hear what the state, you know, I mean, I want to hear what how did the 3 prongs are not met when they were already said they were.
Yeah. I mean, Judge Glanville already ruled on that. They can't really take it back, I would assume. Maybe George Krause has another opinion, but I can't see any of the 3 prongs being not met. That's the one. George Glanville already tried that one, and he failed miserably. And I don't know what happened between the second to last trial day and the last trial day when he admitted, yeah, okay, but yeah, especially now when the prosecution do not have Judge Glanville to approve of their bad case law. And apparently, I haven't checked them out yet, but the case law the prosecution used in their reply, they only took out certain sentences from it. But if you read the whole lot, it tells a different story.
Right.
I mean, she did the same thing with the the emails.
Yeah.
When she was in the ex parte meeting trying to paraphrase and creative license with the emails, and then finally read one quote where he said F you. Well, why don't you just read the whole thing then instead of trying to summarize it in your own words?
And he didn't even say F you.
Yeah.
That's my
He
favorite
said,
part.
well, and he also said, if you think that if you think I don't care for my client, then. And she didn't include that part at all.
No. So I was sitting there like, he sent an email that said F you. I just couldn't think of what was the context.
Hilarious either way.
And it's like, you guys know, I know Melnick
2 hour
personally,
words.
so I'm
2
like,
hour words.
he definitely sounds like it's possible.
Well, yeah, and I think there's a difference when you leave out the reason that
Yeah.
you should, if this is true.
Yeah. And it's not like it's not coming out because they know it will be in emotion later on. I mean, and this.
I don't know. I still, Love's footnotes her own footnotes, her own receipts. I look at footnotes like receipts, and
Mhm.
they don't back up the argument she's footnoting.
Yeah, that's
She's
what I'm
she
saying.
she tagged in like a 16-minute clip of a YouTube video where we're supposed to look for shoulder shrugging, and I just didn't see it, and maybe I missed it. I looked like
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah, maybe we blinked at the same time or something like that.
No,
But in that 16 minutes, you heard her bad argument as well. I mean,
It looked worse for her. Her own footnote looked
Yeah.
bad for her.
but is it because she is so
up there.
used to George Glanville after over a year that she didn't realize it? Because he would probably approve of it. But now all of a sudden, I don't know. Brandon asks, thank you, Brandon, for $20. Were their transcripts entirely complete? And I do believe that Woody answered that question on Kayla's stream by doing. And yeah. And I believe I said it on the previous stream that my gut feeling told me there's something missing. And I mean, I've been on. Let me see if I can show you actually. Where is it?
Like the timestamp difference, like even if you added in some ums to act like you were speaking like Glanville, because he is a little bit long-winded when he speaks.
I will show you from my years in the European Parliament as a documents analyst. Hold on.
Too slow. You've been a slowpoke.
Where is it? There. Look at that number up in the right corner. That's my list of documents. 63,819. Now, I mean, about 10% is original documents. The rest are changes in documents. That was the main thing I did the control of. What language did they change in this? And then I had a computer program to aid me in that. Okay, they did that with that sentence. They added this. Okay, what's the new meaning? So that is
Okay,
what I
guys,
did
I
for
have to
3
jump off,
years.
but thank you for having me. Excuse me.
No,
But me and Miss
Have fun, you
Sylvia
guys.
to an event. So see you later.
Oh.
Thank you for having
Have
me.
fun.
Have
Bye,
fun.
Kat.
Okay.
Bye, Sylvia. I'm like
Bye,
leaning as if
Sylvia.
I get to help me see. But yeah, I think in the chat they're pointing out too, because Kayla did say she didn't think anything of substance was missing, but rather that things like possibly when they discussed her being fired during that same 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. window, that the court it was off the record. So it wasn't that it should have been transcribed; it just happened to be said while it was off the record, and she wasn't sure until she saw the transcript if it'd be on there or not.
Yeah.
So that was one that is kind of substance. It does kind of matter, but if it wasn't part of the on the record minutes.
Yeah, and we don't know what happened after close your ears. Did she stop typing for a minute and then resume because it wasn't an official? That's the thing. We don't know until she's on the stand. And that might actually become a reality that the court reporter has to testify.
Yeah. And I thought it was nice that Steele referred to her as court reporter with capitals, like capital C and capital R for respect, but didn't like name her as if he didn't want her.
Oh, the snark.
The
Lawyers, lawyers love with small L. Lawyers love and lawyers Hilton, and then the Honorable Attorney Weinstein. I mean, it's so obvious snark. Okay.
And the Honorable Kayla Bumpus.
Yeah, the Honorable Kayla Bumpus. And with that latest, it's okay. It's time for the spin of the Wheel of Regrets. Dun, 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 dun. I haven't prepared anything.
I like the confetti.
I need to get. You go ahead and talk while I get things.
So, vodka shot, guys. What kind of vodka, if you drink vodka, do you drink? Because a vodka shot doesn't sound that scary unless it's not good vodka. And then all of a sudden it gets a lot scarier. Something that comes in a plastic bottle. And I don't have any. This is just Nick. But one day, one stream. I need to make a wheel for you guys. I'm not going to put a mayo shot on it, though. That's for sure. That's awful. I'd rather do a spoon of hot sauce. You know, Ciroc isn't bad. Grey Goose, you know, it seems like it doesn't taste the same anymore. It seems like, I don't know, like they're making it too fast or distilling it less than they say they do. But it used to be reliable. And I say that too about Patron. Patron got so popular like 5 or 6 years ago, and it just started tasting so gross. Like it didn't taste the same because they just had to keep pumping it out and keeping the shelves full. What kind of vodka, Nick?
This is Nemirov Ukrainian vodka.
What's it originally made from? Is it like a potato thing?
Yeah, potato. You can do vodka is made of potato.
Don't they make Ciroc with like grapes, right? Isn't Ciroc made with grapes?
Yeah, but that's that. Vodka is
That's
vodka.
that. You're right.
All right. I guess we're having a party.
We're gonna forget the mayo spoon spin.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of that one.
When you stepped away, someone said that we should put it in Chat GPT to respond to Love's response.
Oh, wait. I learned.
You gotta do write like you're an mid 18th century judge.
Now, in that Birchmore case, apparently her previous lawyer used ChatGPT.
No, is that one of the ones that got called out for doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not good.
Hence the revised motions later on, but damn, that would have been devastating. But I do believe that case is too good to get dismissed because bad lawyering.
That sucks too, like the idea of a lawyer messing things up for you. Like,
yeah, I mean, if ChatGPT AI at one point in time gets so good that it actually can reference actual court cases and not make stuff up, yes, it can be a useful tool, but it doesn't remove you from checking every sentence in that. You have to check the court cases. Don't be an Adrian Love and just, oh, that sentence fits my needs right now. Ignore the rest. I mean,
especially when you're up against attorneys that know that game.
Yeah, I mean, they've been listening to their misconduct and shenanigans for a year now. They have caught on. Problem is, they had to argue against the prosecution and Judge Glanville.
Yeah.
Now, the prosecution, best case scenario, this gets sent to another court who looks at it and says, we don't want this. And dismissed. Because, first of all, even if another county superior court believes that there is a shade of evidence that can be used, I mean, they have to start all over on a trial that already is probably is going on towards $10 million. How can they, in a smaller county than Fulton County, get that to the taxpayers and the county officials?
Well, I think the other problem too is there are times where I think, hey, if they had to start back from the beginning, sometimes I think the state would be at an advantage because they could tighten up some things that may be superfluous or cumulative and make it cleaner for the jury, present things in a different order. Other times I think the defense would be at the advantage. And here I'd clearly say that the defense would be at the advantage because just from the stuff that Adrienne Love put in her opening statement, which is supposed to be the core points, she has screenshots of retweets and she's relying on a date for something that was retweeted. That's not the date that something happened, but she needs that retweet to have happened after one of the crimes, one of the underlying acts, because she wants to say that tweet is about that. But that tweet happened before it.
Yeah. And then you had that cropped video, 2 times cropped video, that was published on another site. It wasn't the original, and it was so obvious. But I'll allow it. George Glanville is.
I think the only things that could be added now, it wouldn't be anything that it would be evidence that would be helpful to the state. It would be things that are helpful to the defense. I mean, honestly, everything that Woody said on a YouTube stream could be pulled up in court, and he's the witness that they need.
Michael Balanos, hung jury. Okay, that's interesting. Do you know that case?
No. Just the name because it's an interesting name, but I didn't look at any news on it.
Yeah, this is the synagogue leader. She was stabbed to death in her apartment, crawled out and died outside. Her ex-boyfriend, a few weeks after that happened, called 911 and admitted it. He did it.
Dang.
But then got himself a really good lawyer who said, no, the admission was due to drugs. And then the prosecutors gave him immunity to testify in court. And then they found this Michael what's his name? Michael Balanos, a shady figure known to burglarize. And apparently he was spotted in the area. They did the search warrant and everything, and apparently they found clothing with her blood on it, but it was on the sleeve, which indicates, is she dead? Oh, and then he took off. Because as a man of color at the crime scene with a shady past, he knew. But he turned over everything. He gave his phone, he gave his everything, while the ex-boyfriend started erasing things. And the prosecution still prosecuted him and gave the ex-boyfriend immunity. But hung jury. Yeah, I mean, that's a good result. But if they retry it, then you have that the prosecution can...
I always think it's crazy to think, like, jurors not having discernment could be a huge problem, no matter how good your own case is.
Yeah. I mean, even in the best of cases, if there are so much riddled with reasonable doubt, it's still a coin flip, because people walk into court as a juror sometimes and see, what did he do? He has to be there for some reason, because people don't start from zero in a trial, which they should be. People say always, oh, you shouldn't go in biased. Yes, you should. Towards the defendant. Because as you saw now in the Baldwin trial, the amount of shadiness from investigators, from police, from prosecution, that can happen to anyone. And if we don't protect the rights of the worst, we don't protect the rights for anyone.
And guys, the argument there from the prosecutor was, well, I didn't believe, or I believed the story that I was told, that these bullets that may or may not be dissimilar to the ones that were found on the set. I believed that they never crossed state lines. I just believed it. And because I believed it, when a good Samaritan came in and brought these to a police station, the lead detective, crime scene tech, the prosecutor, they were all aware of this, and they didn't disclose it to the defense. Not just Spyro and Baldwin, but in Hannah Gutierrez Reed's case. They like kind of let them know, but that's not enough. Letting someone know isn't enough. I still think it's the prosecutor's job to probe into those questions. Because if the prosecutor suspected the Good Samaritan of anything, do you think they would have questioned them on what they were saying, or would they still take that at face value?
Yeah, I mean it's wild because if everything if everything Morrissey said on those items, then it should have been no problem to test them and hand it over to the defense. Instead, they chose to hide it, bury it in another case number.
They played fact finder, and that's the jury's job.
Yeah. And I don't get it, because if everything, as I said, if everything was as they told, then they shouldn't have any issues disclosing it, and they chose not to. And now,
And honestly, they should have known better if you're going up against. So, guys, I call him Alec Spiro. I didn't know his name was pronounced Spyro. His style might be really irritating in an entertaining way. He's always arguing. His face is always like, but it's good lawyering. And you give him something he can spring in 3 days into a trial like this. And what did he get? What did he get from it? He got his client. The case is dismissed. Can't be retried because it would be double jeopardy.
Yeah, and it's so unnecessary. But I do hear her over the Twitter /X whatever. Oh, how will the family get justice? They settled in the civil suit against Baldwin. The husband settled for money and a cut of the net proceedings in the Rust movie, which was a bad call because a movie never does net profits. That's Hollywood accounting. Even Star Wars has never made profit according to Hollywood accounting. Never. This is not legal advice, but if you're offered net profits, no. Just no. Contact a lawyer who will tell you that, or contact a local lawyer.
Agreed.
Why are we talking about the judge? He's definitely fired. The question is, how does love get away? We don't know that yet, because the bar is so high on removing a judge from a case. It is insanely high. Do I believe they are there? Yes, but this is in Judge Krause's hands now. I believe he should have been yeeted a long time ago. He should have yeeted himself. But here we are.
There's another judge in Florida that it's like his second bout, and he's had complaints against him, and I think he just got removed from a case because he was just like cursing at someone that walked into the courtroom on their phone, which is like, you're not supposed to do that, but he like just started like blasting this guy. So they made him take an anger management class, and then he did it again. So now they want to remove him. Let me see. Let me look up his name.
Yeah,
because there was a video of it, and it was funny.
Oh, please do.
I think it was Florida.
No, De Tomasis is still on that case. It's the What the Hell's case in Florida. But apparently, Crook, whatever his name is, got arrested the other day because he branded a gun against a family. And apparently, he's a convicted felon. He's not supposed to have guns. So now he's in custody, facing up to 15 years. That case is awesome. I covered the What the Hell's case in the Florida bit. It should be up soon for a new hearing, but it will be interesting to see. Oh.
So that one has a video in it, but I think he curses. I don't think they censor it. So just so you know.
Oh, we're over an hour in. And I made a video a few days ago, and I used the word twat a lot, and F-twat, and stuff like that, and monetized. So I'm okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, I always think, and I was thinking about this after, I think it was on Valhalla's stream, you were talking about it, and I was wondering if the way you pronounce Viking, if maybe they think you're saying F-U-C-K, So if you start off your stream saying, you know, I'm the Viking, here's my, maybe they think that you're saying the F word
Oh,
because of your accent. And you know
yeah,
how caption readers are.
yeah. But I also, when I pronounce four quad, it sometimes sounds like fuck quack. And but it's the accent, I promise. It's really the
We've got
accent.
to have like an expanded list of curse words that really aren't curse words. It's just your accent triggering it.
Yeah, but I changed the my you can't unf a cluster F. So I changed the letters, and so now it's a fuster clock. Everybody knows, but it's not a bad word. Let's see what it says here. Oh,
was seen cursing in the courtroom and is facing but it is in Seminole County.
Yeah, so Florida.
On the bench. Video shows a man enter the courtroom and start looking for a seat. And then,
sir, I'm doing something. Can you shut up and sit down?
This is from 2022.
That's not shutting up. You want to be held in contempt and go to jail? I asked you a question.
After several events during a 2.5-week period, it seemed Judge Wayne Culver would likely be disciplined. But when the commission tasked with investigating allegations of judicial misconduct recommended suspension, the Florida Supreme Court rejected it. That led to a hearing in April where Judge Culver himself admitted he did not act in the proper way. He voluntarily for the committee. More than 2 years later, this discipline case is still not over. It will be up to the Supreme Court once again who gets the
okay.
So one of the problems too is after he threatened the contempt, he didn't hold the hearing for it. So
Oh, yeah. That seems to be a reoccurring event among some judges.
yeah, I thought that was funny. Like the guy walks in, he's just looking for a seat. I had it wrong. I thought maybe he was on the phone or something. He was just quietly going like this, and they're like, "Excuse me, you causing all the problems, contempt."
What? What's going on?
Wait, he's been blocked from what? Oh no.
Oh! Oh. He's been
Oh, from
blocked
just
from the courtroom.
okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
You know, he hasn't posted any he has some links for old YouTube streams, but only up through 2021. Oh, that's funny. That doesn't really look like him anymore.
I need I need to see if this will what 5F.
Oh my gosh, this is funny.
No, I can see him. This must mean that he definitely haven't seen my streams. Oh, he definitely haven't seen my streams.
That's so funny.
Oh, that's so funny.
So, and stuff, thanks for bringing that forward. I was ready to be like raging, like blocked from what? What is he blocked from? Did X suspend him? Is he not allowed to be on YouTube? And then it's this. That's so funny. But can you? Is that an issue? Is that technically holding public office, or is it not?
I do not know about the local rules. I honestly don't. We don't elect our judges or anything, but our elected officials in government, they cannot block because they're...
he said it's a fake screenshot.
Oh, everybody takes screenshots with Judge Glanville.
That's so funny. That makes sense, because I really don't think that he could. At least not on a profile that's tied to official work.
Yeah, but he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't done anything since 2021. I mean, not reply.
Maybe we should watch one of those and see if his demeanor was different.
Ooh, yeah, we should. Let's see.
Williams versus Bowie, and that'd be, I don't know anything about that. So
His
that was
private- his right. Oh, so where is it? Where is it?
oh, what?
Yeah, he privated his YouTube channel. That on the other hand, because if that are public records he already released, I don't know if he can.
Imagine it's like cited in a footnote and then he took it down.
I have to check. Judge and no.
Yeah, there's going to be so much from... And the YouTube filter, when you try to search for a channel, kind of sucks.
Filters.
And then Eric in the chat, Alec Baldwin was only facing like 18 months. Yeah, I think that was it. And that's a New Mexico statute. If he'd been in another state, I think he would have been at a higher risk. We do have one video.
Yeah.
14 minutes. Did he say, all right, I'm done, and just close it down? What happened? Oh, it's Max Short. And Christina Weaver.
Ms. Weaver, you ready, ma'am?
Yes,
He looks different.
Okay, all right. All right, folks, just give me 1 second. All right, we're going to go on the record at this point in time. Good morning, council's interested parties. We're here on the record in the matter of the state of Georgia versus Garrett Davis in 12 SC 112772. This is a motion for new trial. Let me go ahead and first identify everyone for purposes of the record. We have for the state, Ms. Juliana Sleeper. For the defendant, Ms. Christina Kempter. I'll note for purposes of the record that we are holding these proceedings via the video teleconferencing platform called Zoom, and the proceedings are
Video
currently live streamed to YouTube. Mr. Davis is in fact with us via Zoom from remotely at Smith State Prison. Ms. Kempter, do you have any objections in us proceeding forward in this particular matter, given that we're still kind of at the, well, it depends on who you ask, the trail end or just another phase of the global pandemic, coronavirus COVID-19 experience? Madam, do you have any objection?
I do not, Judge. Good morning.
Okay, bye.
Is this like the Star Chamber? Is this his chambers?
Let me go ahead and just kind of, I want to talk with you all just a little bit. And good morning, Mr. Shard. I see you on the platform as well. I need to account for some other people. My staff is Ms. Romana and Ms. Grant and Ms. Roberts. Who is Ms. Sessions and who is Ms. Robinette? Are you all from the Department of Corrections?
Robinette is his mother.
All right, madam, you have to turn on your camera if you're going to be a part.
Okay, let me do that.
Ms. Sessions, madam?
I'm his mother. Ms. Sessions, Brenda Sessions is his grandmother. I'm not sure if she can turn it on because I know she might be streaming from her phone.
All right, Ms. Sessions, can you hear me? All right, well, we will account for her. That is fine under the circumstances. All right, let me just kind of tell you where I am at this point in time.
He doesn't know. He's like, let me figure it out.
For new trial that was filed on the 10th of January of 2014. From the trial of this case that was on December the 19th of 2013. Thereafter, and that was filed by trial counsel Mr. Max Sharp. Secondly, on February the 7th of 2014, Mr. Davis filed a pro se motion for new trial. Thereafter, on the 7th of April 2014, Mr. Davis also filed a amended pending motion for new trial. Thereafter, Veronica O'Grady, who was appellate counsel at that point in time, filed an amended motion for new trial And that was filed and received by the clerk's office on 9/16/2019. The next filing that the clerk shows is a second amended motion for new trial, and that was filed by Ms. O'Grady on the 3rd of April of 2020. Thereafter, a supplemental amended motion for new trial was filed on June the 30th of 2021, and that was filed by Miss Christina Kempner. Thereafter, on December the 10th of 2021, Mr. Davis filed a pro se.
That's always a good idea. Filing pro
For
se.
us. It's always a good idea for us watching.
Motion for new trial. The last time that we were here in court, I asked Ms. Kempter and Ms. Sleeper as well, but Ms. Kempter to begin with, given that because we had identified this last pro se filing, and since Ms. Kempter was in fact representing Mr. Davis at that point in time, that she should have some additional time to either to discuss this with Mr. Davis and to either adopt.
I just need to say, if that happened in court, Judge Glanville would lose it. But here, no, somebody's phone's calling. I don't care. Imagine that in the Youngstown trial.
Well, and I was also thinking, like, this is why the ex parte meeting could have been as long as it was, because take the words he's actually getting out, put that in a transcript without the ums and the filler words, and let me just read that. It would be a third of the length of time it's taking him to say it.
Yeah. Now, in my reading, I did had commentary. I mean,
and it's still, yeah.
So it's still evens out, and so there's a good half hour missing, in my opinion. And even if his accounts for 20 minutes and my commentary is account for 10 minutes, that still leaves 20 minutes.
The chat is hilarious. Did you see that? There's a jar, and then Slick So Famous says, "I know I'm drunk, it's a jar in here."
It's jar. Yeah.
Oh my
He pops
gosh.
up every once in a while. He says, "Nick," and I say, "Yar."
Next time before one of these, I'll go get something to drink.
We need 2 people named Yar and 1 named Binks.
And Binks,
and and then I'm going to lose it.
My jar is a quarter full.
Oh.
Oh my god, YouTube is so funny. Have you had Judge Glanville in your chat yet? That's my favorite.
No, I have had Jodi Aris in my chat.
Oh, I was there when that happened. I think it was 2 different days I saw them.
Days. Yeah. I had, what's her face from the Zachariah, Sadie from the Zachariah Anderson case, the person who Zach's ex, who was the one pointing the finger at him and then lied her ass off in court and in interviews.
Yeah.
And got convicted. And she was in my, you don't know the full story. And first I thought someone was pulling my leg, so I don't care. But apparently it was her. And
that's crazy.
Yeah. And Dave on MLS, God of Law, he said, she's welcome on my show anytime she wants to tell her story. Anytime.
Yeah, I did that once and the offer was not taken up. And then they came back and said, your people want to hear from me. And I'm like, well, I invited you up. It was, it's a woman who, if you look up her name, she spelled her name 2 different ways. I don't remember what it is offhand, but I looked her up and she had like dozens of filings. She opened up all these cases against all these different people. And she was most recently suing Scottie Pippen and the Bulls and Larsa Pippen and Scottie Pippen's brother.
Oh, she sues half the NBA and everything. And
She was in my chat and it was really her, and she was just like a little. I said you could come up though. I'm not opposed to it, but I didn't hear anything.
Happy Friday to you too, Jar. Look, Jar. No, so close.
Somebody write BINKS in the chat.
Hey, for all.
And yeah, you know, I think Roberta was saying a few chats ago too, like, do you think it could have been someone on the crew that set it all up? And I've always felt, I watched most days of the Hannah Gutierrez Reed trial, but then I also watched a lot of the body cam footage of Seth Kinney. Seth Kinney had a way of, oh, police have questions about something. He like runs down, shows up, and just starts storytelling with them, hanging out with them. And then recently, Salvador Dali Talks, he did a public records request and got a bunch of the text messages from the Hannah Gutierrez Reed trial. But since it's kind of overlapping, it's stuff that's relevant with Alec Baldwin's now dismissed case. And Seth Kinney was like texting with the lead detective, and people are joking because she has lip injections that she kind of looks like a blow-up doll. I'm not saying that myself, but it looked like he was simping for her. And he's kind of part of the reason a lot of this spun out of control, and the prosecutor thought she could control it. She tried to hide it instead of just...
Yeah, but I mean, in this entire case, she should have checked all the bullets, and Alec Baldwin shouldn't have never appointed it at anyone. And I read through the Actors Guild union. Up until he was charged, they had in their bylaw, always check gun. It's always dangerous, always treated as a live gun. Even though people are telling you it's a cold one, always treat it. But then that disappeared when Alec Baldwin was charged, because apparently Alec Baldwin is on the board of the Actors Guild. Isn't that strange? And
this is the secret reason they went on strike.
I am a union guy. But I can't handle Actors Guild, and I can't handle cop unions. It's a totally different story. Oh. But let's continue listening to this.
Or amend her particular motion for new trial. At this point in time, Ms. Kempter, did you have the opportunity both to talk with Mr. Davis about that and also to file any responsive pleadings as a result of that conversation?
Yes, Your Honor. I did speak with Mr. Davis shortly after that.
Was he drinking from a red Solo cup?
The evidence.
He's drinking from the evidence collector thingy. Aye. It might be a Coca-Cola something, but no, it's a red Solo cup. Oh, it's a conspiracy of the red Solo cups.
I feel bad for Karen Reed.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what happens, she will always have that little clique of people who believes she's guilty.
Well, and I think they're really going to retry her based on the because the Commonwealth responded today to the defense's motion to dismiss.
Yeah, they probably will, but I don't understand how. That's also a case. I don't see them improving, because they still have Trooper Paul, who is a moron. They still have pervert Trooper Proctor. They can't get away from those people.
Well, I think Jen's only going to ham it up more. You know, a certain witness that wants their story to be told, then they find out that their story wasn't good enough to win a conviction.
Yeah.
I think she'll come back and just put on extra drama, extra flair. I don't think that'll play well.
No, I mean, they already, from the beginning up until the trial, they improved their stories. And weirdly, they all seem to it's almost as if they talk to each other.
Many times.
Yeah, butt dialings and butt answering. I mean, there must be adult, movie producers dreaming of that many agile assholes. I mean,
But dialing Canton. It's like the new feature, top played, highest in demand.
Debbie does Canton. I don't know. I mean, Jesus Christ.
And yeah, guys, if you're missing it, we're talking about the Karen Reed trial where like multiple witnesses had suspicious dials out and dials in and short phone calls, like 22 seconds, but oh, it was just a butt dial. It wasn't really me. Yeah. Well, why didn't it leave any voicemails? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I believe 3 or 4 all called it butt dials in the middle of the night to each other. Like, I mean, it was so stupid. And that's another case that should never have gone to trial. And and apparently the FBI investigate because somebody asked for information. I saw it on Twitter for a couple of hours ago. Somebody asked for FBI for records regarding this investigation or people in the investigation, and they were denied due to an ongoing federal investigation.
So it's not over.
It's not over. It's still ongoing. And I mean, you have pervert trooper Proctor on paid leave. You have one of the Alberts on paid leave. I mean, I don't see how they can win a case with that much garbage. And every cop in Canton seems to be a drunk driver. All of them.
That's the weird part. So if you have a jury that seemed to be caught up on this idea that there was alcohol involved somehow in his death, well, isn't it problematic that the state's only trying to question Karen for being at fault when multiple people were driving drunk to that very house?
Yeah. All of them were drunk driving to that very house. There was no designated driver.
And then drinking more and then leaving. Like a bunch of people were leaving that driveway when this all apparently went down.
Yeah, and one of the, I don't remember his name because I don't care enough about him. the guy who drank and then suddenly decided to drive down to the precinct and move cars.
Oh, Brian Higgins. I think he's the most suspect person.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean,
let's ask the chat. Guys, you just had a great Friday. Would you go drive into work at 3 a.m? Would you drive into work at 3 a.m. after having a fun night out with your friends just because you had some work to do on a Friday night into a Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's every car he moved is one DUI. And he said he moved around a lot of cars. Yeah, I mean, and if you stack them all, I mean, we're talking 20, 30 years in prison.
And then throwing away your phone and using a facility that you're not supposed to really use, but your friend helped you out.
Yeah, and then they drove her car past 6 garages or precincts that were closer just to get to the Canton Dolly Portal or whatever his name is.
Yeah, where someone decided to go and just work 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning.
In the snow.
In the snow. In a blizzard. I mean, the trial lasted, what was it, 6 weeks? 4 of them
for no reason.
About snow.
For absolutely no reason. Holy moly. They need Judge Summer on the case. Yeah. That's who needs to preside over these long cases.
Yeah. And I mean, every judge are in the capacity to time limit the prosecution and the defense, for that matter. They can. They are allowed under the. I believe it's a federal rule, but I also think, if I remember correctly, I don't have all of this in my head because it's a large head, but I don't keep everything in it. It's mostly empty. No, I forgot where I was.
That's kind of how Lolly is. You're just reenacting the case.
Yeah, I'm just reenacting. Where was I? Damn. It's been a long day.
Remember when he was like, he needed one more minute.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 2 a.m. here, and I've been up since 4:30 a.m. So it's yeah. I know what the problem is. Not enough beer. Best sound in the world. Let's continue.
Yeah, I love that sound. I was just thinking that. The can click.
What, if anything? Beer.
With Mr. Davis. Shortly after that, went over everything that he had filed, discussed it with him, and there wasn't anything that I needed to add to my amended motion for new trial based on what he filed. We discussed everything any issues or concerns that he had.
Okay, I would like you to file a responsive pleading, basically saying that particular issue, or I hope that you would have done it already, but I'm going to ask that you do that formally so that the record is clear, and also that you re-allege all the grounds that you are asking the court to rule upon. I'd like you to do that within the next 30 days. In fact, I'll give you till the 1st of May to do that. Ms. Sleeper, I know that you wanted also the opportunity to file a response based upon that particular issue. So can I give you till the 1st of June to file a appropriate response, madam?
30 days?
Yes, Your Honor. If I understand correctly, Ms. Kempter is not adding anything additional to the current claims, so
Yeah, but I want that, but the record should be reflective of, since Mr. Davis filed his pro se pleading while she's representing him, I want to make sure that that is adequately dealt with and it's recorded for purposes of the record via pleading.
yes, Your Honor. So 30 days is sufficient.
Okay, and then Ms. Sleeper, I'd like the state to file a response.
Yes.
Formal response to the motion for neutral for the motions that have been filed. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So
the judge likes to talk.
Mr. Shard, let me go ahead and do this. Given that timeline, folks.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm looking at my calendar. How is 22 June for you all? That would be a Wednesday.
Was that directed to me, Judge?
No, I'm sorry. No, Mr. Shard, I just want to find out whether or not you would be available to check your calendar as well. But yes, that is directed to you as well. Okay. You as well as trial counsel.
If I may.
Maybe, just maybe, if you start super chatting over at Kat's stream, she will do shots.
I need to go to the store. I don't have anything.
Do you have hot sauces?
Nothing like that spicy. It's just plain old cayenne.
Do you have mayonnaise?
Don't. I'm not going to do so. I will disconnect my Ethernet cord.
Either way, you should super chat Kat, because I mean,
I won't fight that. But if you're on my channel and want to come over to Nick's, he needs $48 for his next wheel spin. That's the goal. The goal, chat.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's a bit of grifting, but this channel thingy, it costs money and it costs time. I mean, just to keep everything afloat, it's $350 a month, something like that, just to keep it afloat. But thanks to generous donators and super chats and gifted memberships and the PayPals, yeah, I do not make a profit, because it's at the moment it's a zero-sum game. Everything I get in gets back into the channel. Even my trip to the United States in August, about half of it is paid by me, and the other half is paid by you guys, which I'm eternally grateful for.
Yeah, so make sure let me drop a link back to your channel in my chat. I'm a newbie with like the dual stream thing, but because you guys will want to see that. Because the joke is, Glenville's going to hold you in contempt of court. You're going to become an unindicted co-conspirator in the YSL trial.
Now, I do also, if you are lucky, well, it depends on what you mean by lucky. I do have a slot on the Wheel of Regrets that says tequila, and of course, the best tequila must be the Red Hat one, isn't it? I mean, this shows quality, doesn't it? The Red Hat tequila.
It's cute. I know sometimes Tito's with their vodka, they put like little knit sweaters when it's like winter or Halloween. They like wrap the bottle.
That thing is turpentine. It's window Kleenex. I mean, it's not good. It's not good at all.
Is that on your wheel?
Yes. Support money from Sweden to Sweden from Norway. Thank you, Excomers, with female Sal. That's profile pic.
And shout out to Ghost. Ghost is so quick with the links. I'm like going to go paste a link to your stream.
Yeah.
And Ghost already got it done. Ghost is amazing.
Oh, Ghost is the best. And I mean, I say that even Gigi, by the way, Gigi, news about my first and best moderator. She just last year, she got really, really ill, and that broke her economy severely.
Aww.
So on occasions, if you write Gigi in the PayPal, I will send that over to her. And now, because she was forced to stay at her daughter's compound, now they are moving out this weekend to their own home again. No, to their own home again. So,
but that costs money then. So she's going back home, but
no, she had to move to her daughter's compound to have somewhere to live, while her hubby worked more or less 7 days a week to get the economy back on level. And but now they got enough to move to their own place again.
Okay, I misunderstood. I read it the wrong way. I was like, oh, they have to move again? Because I hate moving, so I thought another burden, another obstacle, but that's really good news. I just interpreted it wrong.
Yeah, and that is in part thanks to my viewers who I did a fundraiser on 3 occasions where we raised, I believe, a combined almost $2,000 to her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so now they are getting their lives back together, and now they are moving to their own home again, which is amazing. So thank you guys for helping out with that. But now, yeah, grifting is a part of the YouTube things, and because we have costs, and Ian Runkle, he is now trying to get enough so he can do pro bono lawyer work, and I think
I love Ian Runkle's channel. He could do comedy and get paid.
Yeah.
Do you guys know Runkle of the Bailey, Ian Runkle?
Yeah. Who doesn't? I mean, he's amazing. He's
got really great content, and he'll recap stuff too. So if you miss it, he'll sometimes stream. Like I'm East Coast, so for him, his streams come on at usually 9, 10, sometimes 11 p.m. So it's nice when I've been busy all day. I can catch up with Ian Runkle. But yeah, his goal is to do pro bono work, and he's a Canadian criminal defense attorney. So great cause.
Yeah, and my goal with this channel is, I will probably never make a living out of this, and it's not my goal. I'm having fun doing this because I can say stuff I can never say in my line of work. I can never dress like this. I can never act. I have to be this stoic label or thingy, and it's so liberating for me to do all this, and I'm having the time of my life. Now, should it start making any profit, amazing, then I might be able to go down in hours. I'm currently around 60-70 hours, and go down in hours to make a regular full-time gig on the daytime, and then do this.
That'd be awesome, because some of the cases, Zachariah Anderson picked up, but you're one of the few that's still talking about the appeal and the long haul and, really taking, and you're the one that obviously the one that's covering YSL gavel to gavel.
Yeah.
In a way that's easy to understand, because, sometimes Sylvia's in the courtroom, so she's trying to take the angles of the video, so sometimes she's not able to give the commentary live while it's happening, and you're able to get the dialogue.
Yeah, and I say words, and I believe half of my streams and videos on the YSL are demonetized because I can't help myself.
And it starts right away. It's like
Yeah,
the first thing, Your Honor, can we, they're about to bring the jury in. Can we, I have a clip somewhere. I got to find it because I probably didn't name it right. But it was Hilton. It wasn't Love. And the judge like stared off into space. It was quiet. He was waiting to see if anyone had anything else to say before he brought the jury back in. And it was dead silence. It was awkward and quiet. And he goes, all right, summon the jury. And then the jury is like, you hear the noise, like the bailiff scuffling in the door or whatever. Then Hilton's like, Your Honor, may I approach real quick? It'll be real quick. Like, he waited. He gave you a chance.
Yeah, I mean, oh, Jesus Christ. Now, for you who don't know, at the actual trial, we are at sidebar 215 in the YSL. 215 sidebars. And they did the math. Somebody else did. I didn't. So I'm relying on that. Actual full days in court are 65. In 8 months. 65 full court days. 215 sidebars. That's an average of more than 3 per day. And that is a lot.
And sidebars don't include all the arguments where they're still waiting for the jury to come in, you guys. So...
Yeah. Oh, let's see what else is going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
The chat is flying today. Good that you're having a good time in chat. They are talking about something completely different than what we are talking about. That's amazing.
Judge Granville?
Yes, ma'am.
I just sent you a direct message.
If his eyes go
an ex parte DM.
Okay.
Oh. Coming to. I am landing in Houston on August 7th. And then I will go to New Orleans, Montgomery, Atlanta, Knoxville, Delphi, and then Michigan. So I will land around noon on the 7th, and I will leave on the 24th. I will be in Atlanta 14 to 15. August 14 to 15. And I will have a meetup with Doug Weinstein.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And
he's so nice. He has so much energy and time. I don't know how he has found the energy to be so pepped up and happy. And he's really like kind all the time. I feel like I'd be disgruntled if I had to deal with this case.
Yeah. I mean, he's a much better man than I am, because I don't know if I could sit in that courtroom and stay silent for that long. I mean, I have had long negotiations, and but at least I know start time, end time, and we still have the laws and the collective agreements. We have the baseline to move around with. In that courtroom, you have no idea what's going on from day to day. Oh, excuse me. Your owner brought some ciders. Yar! Okay.
And I'm going to collide the chats, by the way.
Hey, there's shells.
Miss Robinson was on earlier, Judge. I can reach back out to her and get.
Can you reach out to Miss Robinson, as we are kind of just mulling right here? Ask her if that would be the 22nd of June, 9 a.m. Let's say 9:30 would work for them.
Yeah, sometimes a hearing is 50% hearing and 50% scheduling to the next hearing. To find a date where everybody can be there. And this seems to be it, because, I mean, the first 5 minutes were about the case. And it was just one item, and then the rest is scheduling to the next one. So, yeah. And here's one thing that I do believe that we trial streamers provide: context, entertainment, and to not have the viewers bored out of their skull, because most trials are so dull.
Oh, and the chat also, like, if something is relevant and you're just not thinking of it while you're streaming, the chat will be like, "Don't forget that this happened." Like it's like crowdsourcing in real time.
Yeah, I mean, Ghost sends me DMs on Twitter. Hey, this happened. Oh, great! And I sometimes have US-based lawyers in the chat. I can always ask them, and sometimes I have MG Law coming on. I have Dave coming on, other lawyers, and you. And I mean, there's a collective knowledge. As you said, it's a collective knowledge.
What happened to Dave? He was in here.
Wait a minute. Are you having it every time Nick says, you take a shot? I had no idea I said, that much. Oh. Oh, okay. As I said, the chat lives a life of their own today. Hey, it's a party.
I'm combining. We're going on a trip, Cat's chat to Nick's chat.